What's up, everybody? This is OG Bam of HGU High Ground Unscripted. We have our own podcast where we talk about wrestling and such and things like that. But on this brand new show, we just gonna get deep down into it. We're gonna crash out. We got a lot of things to talk about. I have a smaller panel for this show because a lot of the guys in HGU just don't like confrontation. But fuck it, I do. So today I have Jay the Kid and the Crashout Master himself, Fuego. It's on a Tuesday because this man crashed out this entire Tuesday, every Tuesday for the CFB poll since it came out. So that's what it's going to be about.
When you put it that way, I was about to say when you put it that way because bro has been on timing every time those shows,
yeah.
every time those little playoff shows or those they come out.
So I want to wait. Fortunately, this time it won't be live. Like it's when I say live, it won't be on camera, mainly because my camera ain't working right now, and those two ain't on camera today. But next time, probably, because it's a lot more fun, and we don't have any video to show with the reviews. That's fine. Use your motherfucking imagination. Now, I am only the host. The main person that's going to be talking about the stuff today, which is episode 1, is CFB DBs, defensive backs for you people that don't know anything about football. PIs, that's pass interferences. The toss sweep, that's the worst play Texas can run in a semifinals, and more. But for all of that, that's going to be the main guy talking, which is Fuego. Go, Fuego.
Okay. The floor is mine.
Oh, yeah. Have at it.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. So let me reference this by talking about the season and how this all started. And how this all started off. So this started because the AP poll, for those who aren't in the know of college football, the Associated Press poll, decided that they wanted to continue to drop every week, every Tuesday, as you guys know, because they just felt it necessary to do so, even though, Bam, Jay, would y'all like to explain what we moved to this year?
The 12-team playoff?
Oh, yeah.
12-team playoff.
12-team playoff.
Right. So I need someone to explain to me why I can curse on here, right?
Yeah, fuck it.
Cool. Why in the fuck we needed an AP poll and a 12-team playoff poll. None of that made any sense to me whatsoever. I am an analytic person. So every single week, I have a journal to prove it. I went in and made possible playoff scenarios. I wrote out and everything. Took my time with and everything. Just for them to not even show me a bracket. Just for them to say, here's the top 25. I don't give a fuck about the top 25 teams. The only thing that I care about is the top 12. If the season were to end right now, right here, what would it be? I don't care about the other teams. They don't matter to me. No offense. But you're not invited to the dance, so you don't belong in this process that is the 12-team playoff rankings. Don't care, never will care. If you think it's bad now, wait till next season when you get to witness it live. So you can actually, because right now I isn't even nowhere near how upset I was compared to when it was actually going on. But I digress. That's where Crashout Tuesday came from, because of that. So now let's move into our actual topics of the day. And I'm going to start, this one wasn't even a part of the script, but I just have to get it out of there. Fuck the Vikings.
Fuck the Vikings. What?
Absolutely.
Warm up on it.
Absolutely. They are the Aggies of the NFL to me. The Aggies of the NFL to me.
I'm cursing.
And ooh, and I'm gonna explain why. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm a grown ass man. I can bet on games. Well, I got a free bet from an app that I like to use. Oh, I won't say it because sponsors. We don't have it yet. We'll get there. But
You can call it Overcat for now.
the one day I decide, let's place a sports bet with this free money that they gave me. I get it. It's. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, it's pretty much working out for how so far. I'm not thinking any much of it. Then we get down to the very end, and I'm like, oh wait, to get $634, all I need is one more field goal from Minnesota. Question, folks. Do you want to know if I got that one more field goal from Minnesota? No. I got to witness Sam Darnold turn back into Jet Sam Darnold.
Seeing ghosts?
I got to witness Sam Darnold see ghost again. I got to witness all this bull crap that didn't even matter. Because at the end of the day, and I held out hope. I was like, you know what, maybe. And then towards the end, when I was like, okay, maybe they'll do something. Maybe they just might do something. And no, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything at all. You know what they did? They got sacked at the field goal range. That's what they did. Multiple times. Because the son of a bitch refused to throw the goddamn ball away. Like he was some 2-bit asshole who forgot how to play quarterback. That's what happened. So what did that leave me? Sitting here without $634. That's where it left me. I just had to get that out of the way. I was sitting on my brain, and I had to talk about it. Because it pissed me off last night. It was I was having a good day. Matter of fact, I can go as far as to say I was having a great day. Wonderful, even. Fuck the Vikings. That's all I have to say on that. So now, the real topics that we actually had planned. Allow me to breathe for a second here. Okay. To all my college DBs. No, I'm not gonna say NFL. You'll make too much. But college DBs, high school DBs, and I speak from a place of experience because I have not only played the position, but I've also coached it. You have a neck that rotates for a reason. And one of the very few things that the core basics of that position, when you're playing it, is to turn it when the ball is in the air. We don't have video today, but this playoff tonight, we're going to talk about it again when we do, so I can show you what I mean. If ball is in the air, why are you refusing to turn your head? You know how this goes. They are looking for the flag, especially the refs. Turn your goddamn head, kids. Like, it is not that hard. It is not that hard, that complicated. If the ball is in the air, you look for the ball. Why? There is at least 75% chance that they will not call the flag. Because guess what? There is almost 100% chance that they will if you're not looking for the ball. I cannot stress this. And obviously, this whole playoffs, that's all I saw. Pass interference. Pass interference. Pass interference. Now, it's one thing if you're just hugging somebody, you're going to get the call. But to get the call because you just refused to turn around? You know what? One of y'all speak on it. So I don't want to speak too much. So one of y'all tell me how y'all feel about it.
Oh no, that's all you, my brother. I was a defensive lineman. You was a DV. I mean, you know.
Well, I mean, wasn't a back.
Today is not hands to the face day. So.
Nah, there's a lot. There's a lot to impact in a lot of those fouls, but I never played defensive back or backfield. Wasn't fast enough, obviously, but that really was. But from what I've just seen when just watching one-on-ones between wide receivers and quarterbacks, just knowing the scheme of the game, like. It's obviously common. It's obviously common for quarterbacks to underthrow passes, deep passes, just so they can see if they can, as Fuego just talked about, get a cheap foul. It's the same way as calling a false snap to make the line jump off, right? So it's basically the same thing, but it's a live play ball and it's a cheap deep shot, and from what I've seen, a lot of terrible quarterbacks tend to do that, knowing that the receiver is fast enough to make up ground and come back to the ball and throw a cheap one out to the defensive back who is, as he just said, not looking for the ball. Good defensive backs always look for the ball. They don't always try to hawk the ball. They always try to know where the ball is and where the ball is going, so they can defend the ball. That's common defense type of thing where you got to know where the ball is, where the ball's going. It's very important with defensive backs, cornerbacks, safeties. They gotta, especially when it's in the air. Like, especially when it's in the air, and especially when you're going up against an air raid. You got to know where the ball is. and like Fuego said, it's like they teach you that shit probably in Pop Warner. As low as that. Turn around. Like, play the ball. Play the ball and high point the ball. So I mean, it's not too much for me to crash out because I'm not much of a fan to be fueled at it. But good Lord, just in general reference, I have seen that shit's happen so many times with North Carolina, especially of recent years. It's happened so many times, and thankfully, it's only a 15-yard penalty. But it's so common and it's so frustrating.
Well, it's only a 15-yard penalty. In college, them boys still don't get it. It's even worse. It's even worse when you do it in the NFL. Like,
it's even worse. It's a spot foul. So they cheese that shot all the time because all they gotta do is take a shot to the end zone.
Hey,
and it's at the 1 every fucking time.
Hey, you know who should have thrown it more to try to see if they can get any spot fouls? Sam Darnold.
What was that? You know what? He really. What happened to that nigga, bro? What happened? Bro has been playing the best game of his life all season. I have never seen him play that good. He was alright at USC, but he won't play like that, bro. Like, it came to a point where it's like, bro, I can't believe I'm saying that Sam Darnold is perfect for Justin Jefferson's type of play. All he has to do is put it out there, and Jettis will get it because he's Jettis. Hell, Jordan, he was working with Jordan Addison. He had got T.J. Hawkinson back in the mix. I really thought Minnesota was going to make a deep run. Not too deep of a run. It would be. I thought Minnesota was going to meet like the Lions in the conference finals. That kind of deep run.
You know, a rematch of that final game. But
I think what happened
Fuck.
Is exactly what Kat said.
Close.
We were blinded by the brilliance of the regular season. And as soon as the playoffs came, we saw what he was what we thought he was.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And you know who else? You know who else should take some chances on PI? This is a great segue. Texas, let's talk about it. So
Here we
this
go. Texas. All right.
So this right here, okay. I want to elaborate and be the first to tell everybody out there in the world I am not one of these motherfuckers out here saying Texas is back. When we're holding a championship, then I'll think about it. But even then, I'm not so sure. Am I happy we're not a source of mediocrity anymore? Absolutely. Great. Am I glad we finally gave a head coach a chance? Absolutely. Sark is amazing for our team. I wholeheartedly believe. But let's talk about this play call. Ohio State's defensive line, one of the absolute best in the country. We work our way down to the 1 yard line. The previous two plays, you got pass interference because they couldn't hold your receiver. Why then do you decide, let's run a run toss play against the best rushing defense in the country?
Don't forget the fastest.
Real quick.
About that.
Real quick. How many plays did y'all run for the 1 yard line?
You know, let's see. There was
it was 5,
plays,
sir. It was 5.
But that's crazy. 5 pass plays. That's a running joke. Y'all will get it later. 5 plays. And one of them was a toss? And then on the last play that I really do think maybe could have been a touchdown, it was former roommate to former roommate crime. Because Jack Sawyer stripped the ball somehow, and I've seen this everywhere. Texas had the ball on the 1 yard line, and Ohio State went up.
It's the
Makes that make sense.
Worst thing. It's the absolute worst thing that could happen.
Now allow me to preface by saying both semifinal games were some of the best semifinals I've watched. They were exactly what semifinal football or playoff football should be. But oh my God, Texas, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. This is the second year in a row that we have been right there. Right there. Literally. Right there. You fucked me again. It's hard. It's so hard being I had to witness my boy earlier in the season, my boy Jay, watch James Madison put up 70 on UNC. I had to witness my man Bam, which he probably don't care. But I'm just mentioning it as a sense for you Alabama fans that do care. I had to witness Bama not even make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then, I can't crash out over that. I'm happy for it.
And then I witnessed my team make the playoffs, win the first round, have a really, 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 really damn good game against Arizona State. By the way, Cam Scatterbo, you are the fucking man.
Draft boards.
And then drop the ball after really playing a great game against Ohio State. The game plan was simple. Anybody but Smith. And they did that. Only to have the ball on the 1 yard line and not score.
Gotta be tough.
Tough ain't even the word. I am flabbergasted, kerfuffled, outraged. Fucking, I don't even, any word that you can possibly think of that would put you in a shocked state or want to just, I'm not going to say that, or just want to have a problem with the world. Yeah, That's just take that word and plug it in there, or sentence, whatever. Because my goodness, bro, I cannot for the life of me understand that this dog play, bro. What? Hey, you had them. They could not. Your receivers. Their back, the defensive line for Ohio State is literally the best in the country, but that secondary is the most suspect secondary in the country. And it's because, no offense, Big Ten teams, who cares, cry about it. It's the Big Ten. It's Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, and everybody else.
Yep.
That's literally what it is. And then I get to see, apparently, the same thing that happened with Sam Darnold, Oregon was on the same thing. Freaking fraud watch, because they got boat raced in the goddamn playoff.
Woohoo!
How do you go from beating this team by 1 point in the regular season, having one of the greatest games of the season, what did you? Because I guess Ohio State was on a mission. And they were like, yeah, that blemish was our record. They took that energy from that loss and the Michigan loss and gave it all to them. Because they got absolutely steamrolled.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Am I surprised? No. Because that's just what Oregon does. Anyway, not what I care about. Moving forward with this 12-team playoff. We really need to have a conversation, and me and Bam have had multiple conversations about this home field advantage bullshit that they got going on right now.
Oh, yeah, I've been in those conversations too.
And I'm going to explain to you why, people. Y'all, I'm going to ask y'all a very simple question. Folks out there in the world that'll listen to this, whoever that might be. If you would have worked your ass off all season, won the conference championship, they tell you, hey, you get a bye week, the first round of the playoff. Great. And then the next week, you're going to play at a neutral site. But the teams that are the higher seeded from 5 to 8, yeah, they get a home game. Then what do we work hard for a top 4 spot?
For a bye week?
Like, no,
in college football, a bye week means nothing.
Like, I would much rather be coming off of a win with momentum at home. Because
it worked.
It worked.
It literally worked. Now, both teams that are in the national championship, where did they start to begin the playoffs? At home.
The 4 teams in the last round: Penn State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas. They were all in the semis. 5, 6, 7, and 8.
And guess what team? 5, 6, 7, 8. The one team that didn't have a home game, their asses are at home on the couch now. Crazy. It's so crazy to me how the top 4 teams, none of them made it. Yeah. And we can sit here and be like, that's just college football. Because you know what? That's true. That is the nature of college football. It can happen. But I would much rather play at home after earning this top 4 spot, winning my conference, and then have a better shot. You can replace the bye week for most of them don't give a damn, honestly, about a bye week. Like you just said, Bam, a bye week in college football does nothing for you. Momentum
not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
A bye week in the NFL, I understand that. A bye week in college football makes no sense.
Let's talk about the NFL. The NFL's got 14 teams in the playoffs, 7 on AFC, 7 in the NFC. The top seeded teams, the number 1 teams, get home field advantage. What a shocker. And a bye week. What a shocker.
What a shocker.
Then they play at home games, minus, the devastation in LA. They had to move the games. But it's still essentially a whole game, because LA to Phoenix ain't that damn far. Matter of a couple hours. No. So, That the home field advantage matters. If home field advantage did not matter, why have it? Why call it home field advantage? Just call it home field game. If the home field didn't matter, the same rules that apply to neutral site games, like bowl games, should apply to these home field college games, college playoff games. Half the tickets go to the away team, the tickets go to the home team.
Yep.
That's how it should be. Now, again, my crash out is going to be with the 12-team playoff, their format. Those 5 teams that get home playoff games, well, they got to play an extra game. That means they're fucking warmed up for the next game. I mean, what can we say except for a 14-team playoff would have probably been better, kind of like how the NFL does it, or a 16-team would be better, having the top teams have home playoff games. Oh, but it's the FBS, it's the Football Bowl Series, Bam. Bitch, okay. The Bowl Series can be for the teams that aren't going for the national title game, the same way that the fucking Pro Bowl does not feature any, will not feature the teams from the Super Bowl.
Thank you. But no one wants to believe that.
It used to be different. It used to be, the Pro Bowl was after the Super Bowl, and you would still see Super Bowl people in the Pro Bowl, which made no motherfucking sense. The Pro Bowl is for the people who could not make it to the Super Bowl, but still had outstanding players on their team. Same thing with college. The national championship and the playoffs are for the teams that could not make it, or are not for the teams that could not make it. Let them have the bowl games. But you make too much money. They're not going to change it. Bitch, I don't tell you. I'm not trying to tell you to fucking, I'm not sitting here telling you that's what they're not going to do or am going to do. I'm telling you what they need to do. You can do this. Okay, if you're so adamant that they're not going to change it, then add more bowl games. Add traveling bowl games. My God, that would open up a whole new goddamn market.
Mm-hmm.
How would that happen? Well, I mean, use the model of the college game day. They're somewhere every single week. You're telling me you can't have a bowl game set up in a week or two?
They can. They absolutely can.
Golly, like, motherfuckers, all billions and billions of dollars they spend, like they can't spend it on a think tank to do some dumb shit. That's cool. That's my rant. That's my rant about it. You're going to have to make it 16. You're going to have to either create a new bowl series, or you're going to have to, tell those teams that get into the playoffs, hey, we're going to ask you, do you want to go to the college football playoffs? Because you're going to sign here that says you are knowingly and willingly joining the college football players for the only prize of the national championship. And you're going to forego bowl games.
And that makes sense, though. Like,
the fact that they have
to have like more trophies to win up until like a national championship is like loaded, like really unnecessary. And I've never really grasped the fact of like you have like winning, like bowl games are so attached to national championships. It's I get it's a way to make money, but you can make that money without it being in the playoff. Like you can still make just as much as money as them playing home field all the way up to the title game, which would be at a neutral site.
You can make just more
as much money doing that. You probably make more. You can probably make more, especially, good Lord. And we've talked about this, especially those teams that were really good, like Bam said, that were really good but did not make the playoff. Good Lord. Can somebody imagine a Rose Bowl game between, Washington and
Louisville?
I don't know what to say, but somebody and somebody, I don't know. But here's a better example: a sugar bowl between Michigan and Alabama. Holy hell! Like holy hell! That's going to feed Africa.
Right?
Because let's be honest here. This year alone, let's just take the bowl games that happened this year alone. Washington, Louisville. That's the
There you go,
game.
Louisville. There you go, Louisville. There you go.
That's a big that should have been
That was
in a bigger bowl game.
It was a 1 point fucking game. In which bowl was it? The Sundust Bowl or some bullshit?
Sun Bowl
some bullshit, exactly.
In UTEP Stadium, UTEP went like 1-12, bro. Like, damn, don't play in their stadium.
And then, okay, cool. Let's talk about Michigan, Alabama. They had a great game, and that was in the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Right.
Like, you could take some of these games and put them in bigger bowls. Because the thing is, and I'm an advocate for the Rose Bowl should be the national championship game.
I agree.
It should be the end-all, be-all national championship game. It really should. It is literally the most legendary game. So why not? It used to be. We can bring that back. That was the one that held up the playoff in the first place that they were expecting because they didn't know if they were going to sign off on it. Okay, well, if you want to keep them important, make them the biggest game of the year.
Well, the only problem I have with just making the Rose Bowl the biggest one is the Rose Bowl is only played in one place. It's in Pasadena, California. Now, you could have two different games. It depends on where, like, let's say, just like this year, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Okay, they're in there. It's unfeasible to have their fans go, or some fans only, certain people go from Indiana and Ohio all the way to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl. It would be more practical, even though it's still a long trip for them to have something in Miami or whatever bowl is down there. Two places. Yeah. It's on the East Coast, West Coast. You got West with Rose Bowl for the years for the people that's over there. Make those two games the last one. Okay, cool. Well, who's going to be in that last game? This is the only thing I think about if you want to run it that way. Have your consolation bowl being the one that's not where the closest one is. Who's the two teams out? Texas and Penn State. Shit happens. You go to Pasadena and do the Rose Bowl, or vice versa. But I don't mind that. I just think it's bad. I mean, it's good for money. It's just your diehard fans, the ones that are not millionaires, are not going to be able to make that trip out to Pasadena shit without breaking the bank.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, and I agree with that. Like, because for the people that aren't able to, it makes more sense.
But at the same time, like this year, and it was on ESPN and ESPN Radio, I heard this was like your Texas fans. Your Texas fans had the home game. That's fine, awesome, great. Then they had to go and travel to the SEC championship, or no, to the what's the bowl game at the Peach Bowl or some shit?
Yeah.
Then they had to go travel to the Peach Bowl. Then they had to come back to the Cotton Bowl. That's 3 different tickets they had to buy. Expensive as fuck too, because you remember we went over that. Think about Ohio State. They had their home game. Then they had to fly their people out to fucking Pasadena, and then turn around and go to the Cotton Bowl. That's just unfeasible for the fans, right? It's unfeasible. They need to do better.
That's a good point.
They just need to do better. I don't think a lot of thought was put into this, except for money
and maybe trial and error. Hopefully trial and error.
Hopefully,
because
that's a good point that you made.
Yeah, because as far as like overall, it was a success. The playoffs were a success. Like, regardless of how you feel about how the first round went or how some of the second round games, the playoffs were a success. There is nothing. Football. Yeah, like, to be honest, a lot of people are like, "Oh, SMU told you they weren't that good." Well, I hope you're ready because they're probably going to be back there again.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Carson Beck might. Let me stop.
No, but see, that's another thing, because it's the truth. I think Carson Beck fits Miami's system better than he does at Georgia. because what is Cam Ward? A gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
That is the same thing that Carson Beck is known for, is his ability to throw the ball down the field. And honestly, if you were to ask me, I think his situation is better at Miami because at least he has receivers that can catch the goddamn ball. Because if you really,
he doesn't have the grueling schedule that is the SEC.
Yeah,
and I was about to mention that. That's the only con in that situation. He's not playing in the SEC anymore, so though it's easier for him, it's not as it doesn't like look that good on the strength of schedule. Not that it fully matters, but you want to get like those ratings up to as far as you can. Not saying they can't, because obviously Miami did this year, but obviously it wasn't enough. But you won't.
If you really look.
Yeah, but Miami in general as a program is good for Carson Beck because he still will get the looks from it, and even if he does perform well, super well, and don't let's just say he don't make the playoffs, but he throws for like almost 4,000 yards a year, and then throws like almost 40 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, virtually better than he did this year with Georgia. But just doesn't make it. He's still going to get drafted pretty fucking high. Just because of the connections he has at Miami, and just because of the extra experience and the extra clout not clout, but like TVs and ratings and like tickets that Miami is going to bring in. The revenue. That's what I was looking for. The revenue. So he's still he's still good for them in that particular range. It's just the competition of it isn't going to be like I don't see them playing like 5 ranked teams, probably 2.
Right, and they're gonna have to blow them all out of the water to even be considered, or just win the conference championship. If you're forgetting about that.
Yeah, that shouldn't be that hard. But then you got Dabo on the other side, so you never know.
Another thing is, I hope they fix the conference champ. Like, no offense to Texas, that's great. You had your little home game, but Texas, in that instance, Clemson should have been the home game.
Yeah,
because you had a conference championship going to a conference runner-up. That is one of the main. If you're going to keep this format, that's one thing you have to do is fix that, because that is ridiculous. How that happened.
That was very odd. That was very odd how Clemson was 12 and SMU was 11. That didn't make no sense.
That right there
whatsoever.
That right there was the definition of SEC bias. That's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it got exposed basically.
Oh, it did, because there ain't no SEC team in the what's his name in the national championship. Yeah. There was the only reason there was one in the semifinals is because Texas was just one this year.
Yeah.
And they started with a home game too, but they basically got to that point. Yeah.
Sure.
It was literally a situation of, man, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because like I said, Clemson is a conference champion, and they're ranked that low.
Yeah,
really?
Low. And I was so upset. I was like, "Wait, you telling me the team that?" And I know everybody tried to argue us in the Discord and what was it? Well, they lost 3 times. It does not matter. They are conference champions. They are automatically better than anybody 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11.
It's like that's what they did. Like, that's why they won, because they should have been rewarded for that. But we didn't pay attention to that because we're still on this stupid thing where we think, like me personally, strength of schedule. Let me tell you how I feel about this.
Oh my goodness.
Because I hate this rhetoric so much. I don't give a shit about your strength of schedule.
Not anymore.
I don't give a damn.
It doesn't matter anymore.
It shouldn't be a thing.
I personally do not give a damn, because at the end of the day, what matters now is SOR, your strength of record. That's basically the only thing I give a shit about. And then if when it comes down to it, that's only a rhetoric if it's in a sense of where it should matter.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Yes, Clemson lost 3 games, but okay, oh well, so sad. Sit down, shut up about it. They won their conference. Who cares? That's the gist of it. The rhetoric was that you needed to win your conference if you wanted a high spot. They did that and basically got punished for it.
But yeah, that's it. They got punished for it.
So it's like, what are we supposed to do with that information? But yet somehow Ohio State, who wasn't even in the conference championship, got ranked higher than both, or got ranked higher than them.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like
got ranked higher than both SMU and Clemson, and SMU got the shove to 11. If you're just going, they lost to Clemson by 3 points. Same as
3.
Texas. So why were they not 6?
Mm-hmm. 3.
How many points did Penn State lose to to Oregon in the? It was by more than 3. I think it was about 7.
Yeah, like about 7 or 10.
I think it was a touchdown. If they're gonna go by, well,
7?
this is but Oregon is harder than Clemson, really? Because Ohio State blew their fucking backs out.
And it's just like, oh well, Iowa State's really a great team. Okay, well they lost to Michigan and almost lost the semifinal game.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
like,
they can be exposed. Like Ohio State. I mean, they're a good team, and they're all talented, and they're all paid for, and all that good. But they're just as film watchable as any other team. You can learn. Can learn from what they do. Obviously, you could tell from how they locked up Jeremiah Smith. Basically had it until bad mistakes at the end shit happened. But
because
Texas definitely proved that even Oregon, who Ohio State turned around and beat. Like Texas and Michigan proved that Ohio State is vulnerable. And looking at a Notre Dame game where the defense is actually better, and even Mitch, you said at one point the defense is better over there than what Texas gave you, they're going to have a little bit of a tougher time because Notre Dame watched that game. Notre Dame watched that game and they saw how he locked up Jeremiah Smith. So
here's what I'll say about the difference between Texas's defense and Notre Dame's defense. Texas's defense is what I would call a finesse defense. They play the zones well, and they know how to confuse you in space. That's what they're really good at. Mm-hmm. They are a finesse defense. Notre Dame is just gonna punch you in the mouth.
Yep.
They are scrappy. They are absolutely they are dogs on defense. They just come straight at you and don't give a damn how you feel about it. That is what their defense is. And the thing, and because their offense might be slightly limited, but as we could see from the second half of the game, Riley Leonard could turn it on if he needs to.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he is the definition of a quarterback that you can try to stop him from running, but it ain't gonna last long.
Mm-mm. He's gonna keep running.
Right. Eventually, he's going to break one, and that's all it's gonna take is one for him to know. Okay, I can get this defense. And then if you force him to pass the ball, it's not like he can't throw. It's not like he may not be the greatest passer, but he can get the job done. He has receivers. I look here, man. What number 5 did to those 2 Penn State defenders is criminal.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. The fact that he's playing the title game and not in prison right now.
Because we all looked at that and we were like, hey, how did he get so open? And then they showed the replay.
That is how.
They should have had police waiting in the end zone for that man. So
and it's like, bro, we have to get out of this notion of teams can't beat other teams because Texas was a 2-touchdown underdog and almost won the game. Arizona State was a 2-touchdown or underdog and almost won that game.
Had to take y'all to overtime too.
Shout out to Arizona too. State, excuse me. Shout out to Arizona State too. And
shout out to Arizona State and shout out to Iowa State because Jesus Christ, Iowa State. Besides screwing up my dinner, but
it was really Miami's fault.
They came in and said, "Hey man, we deserved it too. Why weren't we included?"
And they absolutely balled out, bro. Mm-hmm. Because for me, it's one of those things where it's like, man, I can't fault them. Which, by the way, petition to make the Pop-Tarts Bowl a New Year's Six Bowl.
I forgot damn sure.
I mean, fuck it. But let me say this real quick about Arizona State, just real quick before you go. Y'all could probably agree with this or not, but if they were put like in a home field advantage rather than being at the bye week of the 4th seed, they would have made a lot deeper run because that team in general and how they came back in Texas and took that to overtime. If they started out with home field advantage, they would definitely have made it to the semis. Like, and 100.
Let me be a person to admit when I'm wrong, because before that game, when Cam Scatterbo was talking his talk, saying people don't respect that he's one of the best running backs in the country, I said I don't really know because I didn't watch much Arizona State football.
Right,
boy. So before the game, I looked. I was like, oh, he was 5th in the Heisman rankings. And then I watched him play the game, and I'm like, how he said, everyone's built to try to stop him, and they never can. He did what Ashton Genty should have done.
Yeah.
Yes.
For damn sure.
Was the unstoppable force. Because I've watched a lot of Texas football. That man had me all types of panic that we were going to lose that game because he just couldn't be stopped. He was tired. And he still couldn't be stopped.
Hey,
that's all heart right there.
You might crash out on me, bro. I ain't gonna fuck with you, but if Arizona State would have faced Ohio State instead of y'all, they wouldn't have done a toss sweep, dog.
I mean, that's pretty obvious. If Arizona State did a stupid ass toss sweep to Scatterboo at any point in time, they would have crucified that coach. Like, there ain't no fucking way. But that boy Scatterboo has heart, bro. Like, that was all heart, that game. Like, bro was damn near exhausted, could barely stand the end. He went out there, put that helmet on, and he kept trucking, bro.
Oh yeah.
You need, if you're an NFL team, you need that kind of heart. Sorry.
No, you're good. And I'm gonna say, I'm honestly convinced if that Scatterboo lined up right there on that 1 yard line, Ohio State ain't stopping him.
Mm-mm.
And I say that with full confidence. They're not stopping him. And the reason I say that is because he runs like the running backs that Michigan has. He couldn't stop Michigan's running backs. So they damn sure weren't going to stop him. And it just so happened that the semifinals were teams that were technically perfectly matched for each other. That's all it was. The teams were perfectly matched for each other. Bro, Ohio State, you got to go up against one of the best passing defenses in the country. Put up or shut up. Simple as that. And they literally, Texas lost the game, but they forced Ohio State to change their entire game plan.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, Jeremiah Smith, 1 catch for 3 yards. He's not beating us. And to make sure he ain't beating us, the Thorpe Award winner, he's on him all day. And then we're going to have Michael Taft or Andrew Makuba at the top covering that safety spot. He ain't getting free. Because we trust the rest of our DBs to cover your receivers one-on-one. Because if you look at the game stats, they tell a whole lie of how that game went.
True.
Which is why I tell people, and this is another thing that I crash out on people about, bro. If you don't understand the game of football, stats will lie to you.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You need to go watch the game. You need to go watch the game, bro. Because the minute I hear, bro, just look at the stats, I have nothing else to say to that person. Because at that point, your opinion no longer matters to me. Because if you're a stat warrior, that means all you care about is what the numbers say at the end of the day. You didn't watch the game. Simply because a close game, the score could say it was close, but if you look at the field, then it wasn't close at all. They just didn't do their damn part and score. Teams will beat themselves
every single time.
A game could look like it was a blowout, but yet if you actually go watch the game, they didn't put up these points until the fourth quarter. Yeah. It is like there are beatdowns, and yeah, Ohio State, Oregon was a beatdown.
Yes, it was. Very much so.
Penn State SMU was not a beatdown. The team that way. You can't get beat down when your only scores are only coming off of defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because they're shooting themselves in the foot, basically. That's literally what happened. That is what happened to SMU.
As much as I want to crash out some more on this very, very hot topic, we had plenty of time. This was only the first episode. Like I said, we're not on film today. We're not doing. I'll be sure to do it for the next one. In the next week, we have some NFL games. I do believe we have an NFL game coming up this weekend.
Yes,
we have some NFL games coming, and we have the national championship before Tuesday. So, I'm sure we're going to crash out over some more football this time. I'm pretty goddamn sure we're going to do that. Also on the show, and we're not going to limit it to just football. That would be irrational. Like we watch wrestling. I'm pretty sure we can find somebody to crash out over some wrestling. UFL season, NBA season, we'll find something to crash out about. There's a whole lot out there to crash out about. So this is something new. It feels like we get to release ourselves. We ain't got to argue with people. We can just let it all out on the show. If you guys make it to this point in this episode, first episode, feel free to join our Discord. We would love to talk to you. We should put you on a show. We don't care. We'll put you on the Crashout Tuesday. We don't give a shit as long as you come with facts and are reasonable. We'd love to have you. But with that said. Well, we crashed out great tonight, and we found out how he really feels about Texas. I'm playing. Anyway, I see.
I'm a fan of football first.
You know what? I tried to tell I tried to tell a certain chosen one that exact line, and he called me a fake fan. So, but it is what it is at this point. We're not gonna crash out over Ross this time. Fuck that. Anyway, we'll see you next week. I'm probably going to have these two guys with me. We might have a few others. We got somebody that wants to crash out over Cody Parkey. Yeah, that might be an old topic, but it's way over the fucking dude. So we will see you guys next week. I'm OG Bam. This Jay the Kid. That's Crash Out Fuego. Crash Out Mitch, maybe. and we out. We see y'all later.
Peace out and fuck Duke.
Fuck Minnesota.